Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Once again, today I have a donation deck list. This is a modern list, and it's from subscriber Dan. Dan wanted me to help relive his early modern days and build a Pillar of the Paruns / Ancient Ziggurat fueled gold creature deck. So before we get into this, I'll just say, if you want to play a 5-color creature deck, Humans is going to do what you want it to. If you're going to play in a Modern Grand Prix tomorrow and want to play Reflector Mage, do it in Humans. But Dan had a specific request that I am honoring here, and this is 5-color creature spells. So what we got here is a mana base fueled by Ancient Ziggurat, which can tap for any color, but it can only cast creatures, and Pillar of the Parents, which can tap for any color, but can only cast multicolored spells. And what we're trying to do here is just abuse the color pie to do the coolest thing on each step of the curve. This is kind of a prison deck, kind of an aggro deck, kind of a mid-range deck, depending on what posture you have to take in each matchup. Got the full 4 Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch, so we can start cheesing out 3-drops on turn 2 early and often. Mantis Rider, Reflector Mage, and Meddling Mage should all look familiar if you play 5-color Humans or play Modern at all and have seen 5-color Humans. Tidehollow Sculler, this takes the place of Kitesail Freebooter. So the tension in making choices for this deck is that Ziggurat can't cast spells and Pillar can't cast non-gold things. So something like Kitesail Freebooter can get cast off Ziggurat but not Pillar. Tidehollow Scholar can get cast off either. So you have to make some different card choices than you would in a different sort of deck with the options available to you. The only spell in the main deck is Dromoka's Command, because this is the type of thing that'll help get you over the finish line or win a combat or whatever like this. And cascading into it with Bloodbraid Elf, you get to cast it for free. So you don't want to get glutted on spells. Everything except the mana creatures can be cast by either Pillar or Ziggurat. So it should come together pretty well. And basically we're just trying to hammer some creature onto the stack, whether it's a sticky threat or something disruptive, until our opponents die. New technology that didn't exist last time Dan wanted to play this deck is Jegantha the Wellspring. So there are no redundant mana symbols in this deck, despite the massive number of mana symbols in the deck. So we do get to be a Jegantha deck. The sideboard is pretty stacked right now for exactly Tybalt's Trickery. When Dan requested this league, Kaldheim wasn't out yet, but now it is, and I know everyone is brewing with Tybalt's Trickery. I think that deck is the real deal in Modern. It's very powerful. I released a video with it last week, and you can check that out. I won on turn 2 a lot, or on turn 3 pretty easily. Like it's a crazy deck. So either Sword Canonist shuts that down, Mindbreak Trap shuts that down, Sculler helps, and then I have Mind Sensor for the Primeval Titan decks and the Omnath decks. So basically, the format is coming at us from 2 very extreme angles, which is the turn 2 or turn 3 Tybalt's Trickery, or the turn 25 Omnath Inevitability Control 2-for-1 all-day deck. So we got to get under one of them and over the other. We should be pretty well suited for any sort of mid-range deck. Like I'm pretty excited about playing against like Death Shadow or anything like that. That should be okay. Anafenza the Foremost helps against Oops All spells, because if a non-token creature would go to an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, it gets exiled. So Oops All spells can't combo with Anafenza in play. So there's some little stuff going on here. Meddling Mage, big deal. So let's see if we can punch right through the middle of Modern and get some wins with some fair multicolored creatures. Alright, so I'm on the play in game 1. I've revealed my companion. This deck has 21 lands in it, so slightly less than 1 in 3 cards in the deck is a land. Like, the double Hierarch's exciting, but if they have removal, this hand falls apart pretty quick. I'm going to keep, though, for science. Like, I remember I played a lot of humans when it was the hottest deck in Modern. I played like a Grand Prix and a couple Star City Opens and stuff with it. And you sometimes just have to keep these potentially sketchy hands. Like, you spend a lot of time hoping to draw a land on turn 1. So, Temple Garden can only remove Hierarch via Path to Exile or Dismember, neither of which they cast there. Land? Easy money. Okay, so I get to cast Tide Hollow Sculler and Noble Hierarch this turn. Show me your skull. Drog Skull Captain, Skyclave Apparition. Alright, Apparition's kind of a huge beating, and they have a lot of them here. Yikes, I got so excited for a minute there. I guess I want to take Drog Skull Captain, though it doesn't matter, they're going to get back all of them. They do need another land, though. They are in the same boat as me over there. So I'm going to take the Queller, because has the unique effect in their hand. Like, everything else is pretty redundant. I guess Drog Skull Captain is pretty unique as well. Alright, they also found the land. Bummer. We both hit our miracles. But let's see. If they Apparition my Sculler, I can jam Bloodbraid Elf onto the stack and start to get ahead. If they Apparition one of my Hierarchs, that would be a pretty bold choice, unless they're going to try to squeeze me off mana completely over the next 2 turns. I feel like this should go after Sculler. Okay. They weren't fooled. Alright, so now they have their Queller back. So it's a good time for Bloodbraid Elf. This Bloodbraid Elf can also attack immediately. Wow, remember Bloodbraid Elf. This is such a great card. Voice of Resurgence, hell yeah. Get in. This is like the greatest hits of 2010, and I'm a big fan of it. Alright, so getting double Real Threat into play there was huge, because they're not going to be able to double spell for a while. And even if they exile the Bloodbraid Elf or the Voice of Resurgence, I can continue to crush in with the Exalted other one. I think they have to take Voice. Like, that's the one that has does the most in play, also has a lower mana cost in case their Apparition does have to trade off. Like, pretty sure taking Voice is just the play here. Unless they want to pivot onto taking my Noble Hierarchs, which I think the window for that has already passed. I am pretty excited to put a Siege Rhinoceros onto this deck, though. That is a magic card. This card dominated Standard, if you don't remember. This was also the end game when they finally banned Birthing Pod. Like, Birthing Pod restructured its entire pod chain to get Siege Rhino into play and blink it a bunch of times. Alright, I hope I draw a land then, if they're gonna try to get clever like that. Meddling Mage, oh, that's good. A little late. Would have been nice to turn off these Skyclave Apparitions, but it's still very good. It's gonna protect my Voice of Resurgence at least. I'm going to attack with Bloodbraid Elf, because that one will actually win a double block versus just get eaten in a double block. And then I can blue-white, name Skyclave Apparition. Oh god, there's so many cards that say Skyclave. Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, that's the one I want. Let's get you, and then Birds of Paradise in. Alright, so now even if they do Spell Queller on my turn, like, they can't Apparition They can Queller, but that'll give me a like 7/7. So this is looking pretty good for me. Pretty sure this game was just literally play draw. Like I went first and we both kept 1 landers with Noble Hierarch and a bunch of 3-drops, and I just went first, had the first chance at disruption, and could map my game out a little better than them. Alright, just putting the Drogskull Captain into play. That makes some sense. Still not attacking. That makes less sense. A Razorverge Thicket coming into play untapped on turn 5. Love it. Alright, this 4/4 creature, still the best attack I have. Alright, so they're trading off. I'm going to get a 1/1 out of the deal, a 1/1 Spirit, and I get to play Siege Rhino, which has Trample, which should be able to win the game next turn. So Rhino, black, white, green. Hello, bah. Steve Rubin is here. Oh, I didn't even play my land. I was so excited. I just clicked through my main phase. All right. Probably not going to need it. Oh, Aether Vial. The turn 5 Aether Vial when you're dead on board. That's what you want to see. Selfless Spirit. That doesn't matter because I have Trample. At least I can destroy Aether Vial. That's funny. They did all that work. Doesn't even matter. Anafenza. Not ready to cast her yet. Alright, so this should be able to completely devour their board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, even if they triple block, they lose everything. If they block sack. Okay, yeah, this is the best block they have available. Because this does actually trade off with it. Alright, cool. Yeah, but it's just like Plague Wind along the way. Yeah, I'll get Anafenza in. I don't care about Aether Vial. Black, green, white. Oh, I said black, but I tapped for green. Black, green, white. There you go. Anafenza, the large, the 4/4. The foremost, lol. Okay, so they would need like Land Collected Company to try to catch back up. I assume they're a green deck. A green spirits means Collected Company. Okay, that went pretty well. Abrupt Decay is something that I want here. It's a little awkward. I guess I have a lot of black sources. Reflecting Pool, Pillar, Mana Confluence, and Birds of Paradise are all black sources, so yeah, that's fine. Bloodbraid Elf was the hero of that matchup. I think Dramoka's command is really good. Being able to fight at instant speed, like anything that operates at instant speed against this deck is going to be really good. I don't think I need Knight of Autumn. Like, they have Aether Vial, but fuck it. Meddling Mage is a little awkward, but it was good there. It's probably better to split Meddling Mage and Tide Hollow Sculler. Alright, I'm in for this. I didn't talk about it in the deck tech, but Boros Charm is mostly here for the indestructible version. There's one of the modes is your creatures are indestructible this turn against Supreme Verdict decks. But I chose that over something like Selfless Spirit because it can also go face off of Bloodbraid Elf. But it's not for this matchup, regardless. Alright, let's see where this goes. Reveal my Mighty Elk. Alright, this hand has mana and can cast Abrupt Decay, can cast Voice of Resurgence. Yeah, this is good. If they have a turn 1 mana dork and can jump up to 3 right away, that's the one thing this hand is missing. I am drawing to an 8 outer to hit one on turn 1. But, alright, so that's a little awkward. If they want a turn 1 mana dork, then Cavern can't name Spirit. So, okay, they do have Noble Hierarch. That's the only reason they'd name Human here. But that means I can counter their spirits, which doesn't matter in this matchup even a little bit. Alright, Thicket's in play. So now I have the choice of, it will depend on what they do. If they play something like Drogskull Captain in their main phase, I might just kill it. But if they hold up Queller mana, I'll hold up Abrupt Decay. Okay, that doesn't matter. That only counters non-creatures. So they could have Rattle Chains to give hexproof at instant speed. I think I want to Voice of Resurgence first. Well, so here's the thing. I could Voice of Resurgence to play around Spell Queller, but that plays into Skyclave Apparition. I could Meddling Mage, name a Skyclave Apparition, but then I get got by Spell Queller next turn. I'm fairly confident they have Rattle Chains in their hand, which is why they left up their mana the way they did. They didn't attack. They could have got in for one and they didn't. So this will force the Rattle Chains if they don't want to give me an Elemental. I guess they could have something like Unified Will or some counterspell. Yeah, Rattle Chains. I'm shocked. Okay, but now I have Voice of Resurgence in play, and if they tap out on their turn to Skyclave Apparition it, then I don't have to worry about Spell Queller for that turn. I guess Rattle Chains gives all their spirits flash, but they don't want to use flash threats because Voice will punish that. Alright, so Pillar. Oh, I just noticed that none of these lands actually pay for the put this in your hand cost. That's a pretty... Maybe it's not worth Jegantha in the deck, if that's the case. Alright, so white, red, blue. Alright, if they want to interact with this, they're going to give me a big token. And if they don't want to interact with it, then they're going to take 5. Yeah, so like they could leap a spirit into play here. Like they could flash in Drogskull Captain, which makes this a 3/3, but then I get a 3/3. I get 2 3/3 spirits in combat. Yeah, so Voice of Resurgence just showing up and showing out here. Like it can eat my voice, and that's fine. Just gonna end up with a bigger creature out of the deal. Alright, deal. Big creatures, big creatures. The Drogskull Captain is a little scary because that means if their other card in hand is also Drogskull Captain, they just have the mono hexproof lineup. Alright, not blocking here. I think I am still the beatdown. Alright, so I'm going to lead on Meddling Mage. And I'm going to name Spell Queller. And then I'm holding up the Abrupt Decay, just in case. Yeah, Spell Queller is their only good way to interact with Abrupt Decay. And they can flash in other spirits, but they have one card left in hand, and I can decay their Drogskull Captain in response to whatever that spirit is. Another Rattle Chains. Maybe I should save this for the blocking step. I guess, like, if they give Drogskull Captain the hexproof, I'll just kill it. But I guess that's the only thing that doesn't already have hexproof. Alright, yeah, it doesn't matter whether I respond to this trigger with it in play or not. I was hoping to get a bad block out of them thinking they had a Lord, but they don't. Oh, they are just giving it re-hexproof. That's weird. Okay. Okay, so I did manage to trick them into the bad block. And can I get a scoop? Scoop. Whammo. All right, so now we are miles ahead. Voice of Resurgence MVP. Supreme Phantom, they can attack for 6. I'm gonna have to watch my pacing here. So if they want to attack for 6, if I crack back, they're at 9. So 4, 8. They have to block one of these creatures. So if I go to 6, and they top deck another Lord next turn, like if they chump Noble Hired, they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They actually have to block with both creatures, but they can block Meddling Mage with Phantom. So they can take 7 next turn, go to 2, and still have Phantom. If they draw another Phantom or Captain, I take 4, 8, 9, 10. Siege Rhino doesn't get me out of reach of that, so yes, I do want to block. I could actually lose this race if I don't be careful. Pretty sure by blocking here, I can't lose the race anymore. The Siege Rhino is going to gain a bunch of life. What's this pause? Were they surprised by my block? Oh. Can I lose if I don't play Siege Rhino? Like, is 13 life from 10 much different? So 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't think that matters. Yeah, it's time for Bloodbraid Elf. Wait, do they lose if I Siege Rhino? Like, if they go to 6... No, they still have the same blocks. Yeah, Bloodbraid Elf hitting something that kills Supreme Phantom is actually lethal compared to... Oh, and Bloodbraid Elf represents the same 3 damage that Siege Rhino does, so that doesn't even matter. Oh, Birds of Paradise, perfect. But Birds of Paradise is +1/+1 to my elementals, so that's not irrelevant. It's also a flying blocker. Everything matters. Every part of the buffalo. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, they're going to 1. And I have a blocker. Yeah, they're just dead to Siege Rhino. Even if they just have Supreme Verdict or some crazy shit that shouldn't be in their deck, like I still... Yeah, they're dead. Bum, bum. Alright, I think they're doing the math right now, but I already know they're dead. They don't know about Siege Rhino, but I'm pretty sure they're also dead on board. Yep. Alright, squeaky clean. On to the next round. Alright, I'm on the draw, and I have kept this hand. It's a little awkward because it only has 2 colors of mana, but we'll see if I end up getting punished by that. Looks like we're playing against Death and Taxes, which is not a matchup where Voice of Resurgence is excellent. Like, they don't play a lot of instants, but they do have... It is pretty good in combat. Like, it is the biggest creature that there is. Though the hand I've kept is pretty bad against Leonin Arbiter. That's a quick Stoneforge Mystic too, so I don't think this matchup is bad. I just need my mana to come together. The cool part is I might lose this game without them ever knowing I have a third color. If I draw one of my 5-color lands, though, and get, like, Reflecting Mage, or if I can get up to the Bloodbraid Elves sooner than later, this is actually pretty good. If they have the Arbiter, though, I am in trouble. Like, the worst thing they could do to me right now is Violent Arbiter, Ghost Quarter me, and have a land for Powder Skull. Okay, Thalia. Very few cards in my deck care about that. Come on, 5-color land. Oh, I drew the one card that Thalia cares about Thalia. Alright. I mean, that'll be good when I draw another land, though. So they get to put in Batterskull here. Sack an enchantment, fight, prevent all damage an instant or sorcery would do. Alright, so basically that's going to remove Giver of Runes and make Voice of Resurgence larger, if it does anything. Though now Vial's on 3, Flicker Wisp is online. I'm in some trouble. Oh, they had Sword of Fire and Ice also. Are they going to give protection so it can get through? Or are they going to let me block? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the block. So they can flicker the Elemental and it's just gone forever. I'm not convinced that's better than flickering their Stoneforge Mystic, though. Not what I wanted, but it is a start. Alright, so I can block with the other Voice of Resurgence. I think they should just give pro red this turn, or pro green this turn, and get the sword connecting. Alright, yeah. That's bad news. Yeah, my chance to win this one disappeared with my missing my land drop for 3 turns now. Alright. I'm gonna take the block because I lose that creature to Sword of Fire and Ice anyway. Or a worse one. My token's back. Oh, Ancient Ziggurat. Okay, so now I have the choice. Should I hold up Dramoka's command or cast Bloodbraid Elf? I think I need to hold up. No, maybe I just need a Bloodbraid Elf. So this gives them a lot of information that there's more going on to my deck than it originally appears. But I think I do need to get on board. Alright, that makes my token a lot bigger, gives me some blockers. Still, if they just like give this thing pro green at any point and start connecting with their monsters, like they would have won this game 100 years ago if they just aggressively pro green to this creature. Though if they do that, now I know that I can Dramoka's command the Thalia. But then they can just put the sword on something else. Yeah, I'm gonna have to destroy Giver at some point. Yeah, oh, pro red, actual pro red. That one can't block meaningfully, so block there. And do I block the Batterskull? I don't think so. Yeah, pro red and pro blue actually do matter. It didn't until now because I hadn't drawn any blue or red cards. So I think I should pack up this game. I'm way behind. They have both equipments chugging. Before I show them any more information, like show them that I have blue cards in my deck or Dramoka's command. Yeah, that kind of sucked, but I did keep the hand. All right, so 3 Abrupt Decays coming in. I think Tide Hollow Scholar is actually good in this sort of matchup. I don't want Mind Sensor. Meddling Mage, not exactly the best. Because they have Aether Vials and a lot of ways to put things into play, like Stoneforge Mystic, that aren't casting spells. So, yeah, I don't think I want Meddling Mage. Alright, so now I know that I'm against a deck that can pressure my mana. Though I also went a long time last game without drawing a land, so yeah, this'll do. Alright, so I'm going to lead on Razorverge Thicket because Dromoka's Command is a card that I might want to be able to cast. This is the awkward. If this was Pillar, there'd be no problem, but instead it's Ziggy. Oh, that was the perfect draw. Alright, getting paid back for the bad one last game. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. That one. Alright, then we're curving straight into Bloodbraid Elf here. Right, Stoneforge Mystic. I could just kill that. I guess I'll see what I draw and make a decision. Abrupt Decay. Yeah, I actually just want a Bloodbraid Elf and push my advantage here. I can double spell pretty soon. Or I can just double spell like this. Bird of Paradise. No bad draws. Yeah, they're not going to want to trade this off. Like, I can Abrupt Decay the token next turn. Ooh, are they not putting Batterskull into play? Oh, they must have. Oh, they played Plains. Weird. They made their land drop before playing Arbiter. And they're just not putting in Batterskull. They must have Path to Exile. That's the only thing that makes any sense. And if they do, they should cast it now before I untap. Okay. Alright, so let's get a look at this hand. Show me the Path to Exile. Oh, wow. Nope. They just have a bunch of lands, so I'm going to Dromoka's Command to kill Leonin Arbiter and just go to Pound Town here. I guess Reflector Mage actually does a better job of that on this board state. Yeah, that's more like it. When I have my colors, we can smash. I don't really like that line they took. I can see lining up where like next turn they can Ghost Quarter me and put in Batterskull, but they're in so much trouble this turn that I think they needed that Batterskull. Alright, so they can't replay Arbiter this turn. I do have 2 basics in the list, so I'm not super worried about Field or Ghost Quarter. Like, they could Field of Ruin me, and... oh, I took the Batterskull, so they can't put Batterskull in. Hopefully Gigantha comes up at some point in the league. I feel bad for him or her over there. I guess it's actually pretty close. Like, I can use my birds to get Gigantha into play. Protection from black and red. What color is Dromoka's Command? Alright, so I have perfect information. I know they have 2 Field of Ruins and a Leonin Arbiter in hand. So I can use Dromoka's Command. So Dromoka's Command and Protection is a funny thing because Dromoka's Command targets the creature that you want to fight, and then your creature has to deal damage to it. So so protection matters to be able to target it in the first place. But then if I were to target and tell Bloodbraid Elf to fight Auriok Champion, I would not win the fight because it has pro red. So I have to pick one of my non-black or red creatures to actually fight the fight for me. Okay, so that's actually a huge deal. I'm gonna fight this champion before I play Mantis Rider. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't. Okay, so I'm gonna put the counter on this knight, and I'm gonna choose a creature I control. I'm gonna choose Reflector Mage to fight Auriok Champion, and then Dramoka, tell us how you feel. And then I get to attack for 8. Oh no, 11, because... Oh no, all of my creatures... For some reason I thought that all of these were removed from combat. My brain didn't see them with the fight and +1/+1 counter notations on them. But they're very dead. They have 1 blocker versus infinite attackers. I don't think it's going to hurt me. Let's see. So if I attack with everything right now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I actually do need to put this into play to make lethal. If I didn't need Mantis Rider for the lethal attack, I wouldn't have played it. So they don't know that they need to play around a flying haste creature. But I'd rather get the win than hide information. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are exactly dead no matter what they decide to block. One thing they could do here is Ghost Quarter me to see if I search for a basic land. And honestly, if they Ghost Quarter me here, I will not search for basic land because they're dead anyway, and maybe them thinking I have no basics would be helpful to me next game. Like if they just want to like turn 1 Ghost Quarter me. Alright, didn't come down to it. They didn't see the line. Okay, I don't think my sideboard plan changes. Yeah, the sideboard is built for combo and control decks, and the main deck is already supposed to be pounding on these mid-range mirrors. Yeah, the mana pressure is pretty scary. If they do get an early Arbiter that clips off a land, like we've seen every single game so far, the early turns, curving out, keeping 1-landers, like that is all part of playing a deck like this. And they have Aether Vial to break the land drop parity, and I don't. With both Pillar of the Paruns and Ancient Ziggurat and Reflecting Pool, that's 11 lands in my deck out of 21 that don't cast Aether Vial on turn 1. I haven't even drawn a Reflecting Pool yet. It's like it's not even in the deck. Didn't need it. Alright, I'm on the draw, and I am going to keep this hand. I was just saying we haven't seen a Reflecting Pool yet, and it's actually terrible here. But on the draw with a Noble Hierarch, I'm not going to send this back. I can still Knight of Autumn with the mana that I have, and drawing any land is a big one, a big deal. All right, being on the draw means they can sneak a Giver of Runes in through my Knight of Autumn, if they have it. So let's just hope they don't have a Giver. Also gonna hope they don't have Arbiter. All right, turn 2 Stoneforge. Is that 3 in a row? Did they do that all 3 games? Pretty strong. Okay, Razor Verge Thicket. That's better than Reflecting Pool. All right, so I'm pretty sure killing this Aether Vial is going to do more for me long term than trying to fight over the Batter Skull. Let's see if they have Giver of Runes. Please don't. It's going to make everything a lot harder. Alright, still got rid of the Aether Vial though. Count my wins where I can get them. Do you have the Arbiter? Alright, you don't have Arbiter. Second Giver. Wow, that sucks. Now they can protect each other. I have one turn to find a removal spell. Alright, well, Bloodbraid Elf can take a crack at it. Alright, time to find Abrupt Decay or Dromoka's Command. Right meow. Alright, I mean, Mantis Rider can attack too. Alright, that can at least pressure Batter Skull. Like, it's one of the few things that doesn't get completely blanked by Batter Skull. Siege Rhino next turn can do a lot as well. Like, it is bigger than Batter Skull. They have the Giver that can protect it, but right, I'm glad it was Batter Skull they put in, by the way. Like, they could have just had Sword in hand like they did in game 1, and Sword on this board just ends the game. Batter Skull is good, but it's not a game over. Alright, what do you got? Flicker Wisp. Target Stoneforge Mystic, probably? Yeah. Alright, they know what they're setting up for over there. Flicker Wisp is actually just super shitty. This double Giver of Runes lines up so well against everything I'm doing. I can take the sword though. Oh, there's that. Just a little too late. Okay. What is the play here? I guess I attack for 4 with Mantis Rider, and then see if I can like trick them into activating one of their givers. And I can kill the other one. Alright, they didn't fall for it. So, Tide Hollow Scholar. White and black. This is going to take the Sword of Fire and Ice before it can get into play. Archon of Emeria and Flicker Wisp. Alright, I'll take the sword. That Wisp is trouble though. Yeah, I'm going to have to double spell to get through the Giver of Runes. I'm going to have to lose something to do that. Or I guess that's not true, because if they tap Giver to protect one of their creatures, then I can destroy the one that is not currently tapped. And then I can start to break down this house of cards. Like, I'm going to lose something somewhere here. I think double blocking this Germ will do the most for me. Or, no, I can block Flicker Wisp. Then they're going to give it protection from one of my colors. Then I put a +1 counter on this, and then have something else fight the other giver. Okay. But they could just take this trade, and then I'm in trouble. But okay, I'm going to go to damage. Oh, they didn't fall for it. Okay, shit. That was a smart play by them. Did my best to fuck them up, but it didn't work. Alright, are they going to reset their Stoneforge or try to get their... Yeah. It's about to say or try to get their Sword of Fire and Ice back, but that doesn't make sense because it comes right back. Is there a third weapon in this deck? There is, in fact, Maul of the Skyclaves in this deck. Alright. Oh, that's a good card to have eventually. Like, I just need to get to the point where this matters. All right. So I'm going to target Reflector Mage with this, or target Giver with Reflector Mage, because that forces the issue. Like, either they protect this Giver, or they just don't have a Giver. All right, so oh wait, did I fuck this up? Oh, wait, I have to respond to this. That's how this works. All right. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't do what I wanted to, but I figured it out. All right, so +1 counter and fight. So I'm gonna put a +1/+1 counter on I guess, trying to think of where this matters most. I think on Reflector Mage gives me the biggest butt. And then Bloodbraid Elf will fight this Giver of Runes. White, green. I hope that makes any sense. Though I'm probably just dead to this Maul. Yeah, they can give something else protection in response. Yeah, I think not going for the double block last turn. Like, if I also double block Batterskull, in addition to blocking Flicker Wisp with Mantis Rider, I think I could have gotten through this better. Alright, yeah, now this Maul is coming, and I can destroy the equipment with Abrupt Decay. But I am going to take a shit zillion damage this turn. Yeah, so that's 9 flying damage. I'm at 3, they're going to gain 6 life. At least I do have a pretty reasonable spread of colors. They can't, like, Giver of Runes to force the last points over the finish line. Not yet, anyway. First Strike, Flying, Lifelink, Vigilance. That's a lot of words on that card. Okay, so if I Abrupt Decay, I can't cast Siege Rhino and I lose. And if I cast Siege Rhino, I can't Abrupt Decay and I lose. I needed to draw a land here to cast Abrupt Decay and Siege Rhino, but I'm 1 mana short. So that's the game. Got beat. They are a more consistent version of kind of the same deck, so I'm not surprised that they were able to come away with this one. Next round. All right, I'm on the play here with a hand that is pretty much bananas, so I'm going to keep it. Turn 2, 3 drop, turn 3, 4 drop, and that 4 drop happens to be Bloodbraid Elf. Fuck yeah. I hope we're playing against Oops All Spells where the Anafenza actually matters. Or else it's just a big creature. Though curving Anafenza into a haste creature is a huge deal, because then I actually get value off of Anafenza's trigger. Right, they kept 7 over there. Play Razorverge Thicket first, as not to give away all my secrets. If you lead on Pillar of the Parents or Mana Confluence, those both really give away what you're up to. Oh wow, River of Tears in a deck. What a world. Alright, that was a good draw. Oh, that can't cast that. I should have played Mana Confluence. Shit, I fucked up. I had Ancient Ziggurat in my mind, and that card. Birds of Paradise should be in play. I'm at 19. Your turn. Damn it. So I wonder if this is Rogues. Like, what deck plays these cards? Alright, there's the Ziggurat that I thought I was casting last game. Alright, managed to mistap. Alright, green, black, white. I mean, they've had these two fatal pushes that have kept them alive this long, but I'm still just ramming monsters onto the stack. And Bloodbraid Elf's coming next turn, which has been the bane of fairies, even when these were standard decks together. I mean, Bloodbraid Elf versus... Or I guess they didn't overlap in standard, but they did overlap in extended. Bloodbraid Elf versus Bitter Blossom is usually not very good for the Bitter Blossom player. Oh, they have a third fatal push. That's the only reason they chalk this, unless they have like Pot Scour, I guess. Wow. So their hand was about as good as they could ask for. Now I feel extra stupid for not playing that Birds of Paradise, because they would have fatal pushed that too, and I would still have Anafensa. Alright, green, red, whatever. Let's go. It's a body. Put it into play. Alright, so we 1-for-1'd a few times, and now I'm starting to 2-for-1. Though at 4 mana, they should probably be 2-for-1ing also. Please play Scion of Una. Hope. Archmage Charm, okay. Alright, they are some sort of Dimir control deck. Featuring River of Tears. This might be the match where Gigantha matters. I'm actually not going to main phase the Mantis Rider, because if they want to tap my team with Cryptic Command, I don't want them to be able to counter my spell too. Alright, I'm just going to get Birds of Paradise into play here, and hold up these other spells. I can't put Gigantha in because Pillar of the Paruns doesn't do that. Zagoth Triome. I wonder if they have Uro, or if this is just a cyclable land in their deck. This is starting to look like a Field of the Dead deck, if they have River of Tears and Zagoth Triome. Okay, they are some sort of bug Field of the Dead pile. Gotcha. Alright, Reflecting Pool. Okay, so now I can go to combat, and I can still put Gigantha in my hand even if they tap my team. I would have had to put Gigantha in hand before combat, because Cryptic Command also taps Birds of Paradise, even though that's not really the point. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Alright, Gigantha's in hand. The reinforcements have arrived. They're dead on board, though. So they're dead on board to the creatures I do have, and I have another haste creature that they haven't seen yet. Can prevent all damage. I don't think they're going to have any damage dealing sorceries. Sack an enchantment. Alright, gain 3 life, sure. I'm not sure what enchantment they might have, but it's probably not going to matter. +1 counter, and fight target creature you don't control. Alright, so this could just end up being the world's worst giant growth. Though I hope that they give me a target for this. Field of the Dead confirmed. So I am going to attack again. I wonder if I'm supposed to cast Gigantha. Yeah, I think I'm going to second main Gigantha. That doesn't do anything. Nope. Okay. Bloodbraid Elf, too big. Yeah, I'm going to second main Gigantha, and then they still don't know about this Mantis Rider. Oh, did they mana leak? Bummer. Alright, I mean, they're still dead on board. I can end step Dromoka's command. Like, if they just play a land, and, okay. So that actually makes multiple zombies, that sucks. But I can end step Dromoka's command to remove this zombie from play. But removal spell blows me the fuck out in that case. They can Field of Ruin to make a second zombie. Alright, so +1 counter and fight. Is this where I want to go with this? No, I'm just going to go to my turn. Knight of Autumn. Alright. Ride or die. So blue, red, and white. Let's see. I played around the Cryptic command for so long. Did it work? Well, they didn't counter this. So do they have a removal spell? And if so, I hope they cast it before they go to blocks. Alright, what do you got? Okay, so they're trying to gain 3 life here. So they can make a second zombie. Alright, I'm going to go for the fight mode. Alright, put a +1 counter on Bloodbraid Elf. And then this is going to fight this. So they did this all before blocks, so I can make this play. So this will put them into chump mode with this Field of Ruin zombie, I hope. Yeah, they have to field to make a zombie just to chump Bloodbraid Elf and go to 3, and then they're still dead on board. As they have Cling, they can gain 3 life for a while here. This Cling to Dust is getting really good. Yeah, this game's tight. It's just going to come down to our top decks at this point. I'm ahead. Like, they need to keep hitting, and I need to not brick off. Like, they're clearly just at the point where their hand doesn't have any relevant spells, or else they would have cast them this turn. So if they find, like, Damnation or Cryptic Command, they can go off. Even something like a Fetch Land is insane because it makes 2 blockers, but they need to deal with this 3/3 flyer. But Cling to Dust has the 3/3 flyer answered for a while at least. If they find Uro, I probably just lose on the spot. That's not what I'm looking for. Alright, so they could like Growth Spiral for a second zombie and trade with Bloodbraid Elf, but right now I'm at least keeping them on the back foot. Oh, they're just letting that happen? Oh, can they not? 5 other cards. Oh, okay, yeah, they didn't have enough to cling. Cool. Alright, we got over the finish line there, barely. So, cards we saw include Field of the Dead. I think this is a Boros Charm matchup. Permanents you control gain indestructible till end of turn. Wouldn't surprise me if this deck has Damnation in it. It's definitely a Mind Sensor deck. Field of the Dead and Mind Sensor go together like peas and carrots. So Gigantha actually showed up, did something. I did say I wanted that to happen at some point in this league. I don't think Dramoka's command is very good here. And I can't play too many spells because that taxes the weird mana base, taxes the Ziggurats. So bringing the Boros Charms over the Dramoka's commands seems like a good idea. And I think Tide Hollow Sculler. Oh, I need to cut one more, not add one more. Night of Autumn. That is mostly just a 4/3. So I'll bring in a Scholar. Just more disruption here. I think Voice of Resurgence is going to be great in this matchup. Do I think they are a Temur Reclamation or a Wilderness Reclamation deck? That is the one major factor here that would make me want Dramoka's command over something like. Actually, Reflector Mage isn't very good here, so I am going to be a little higher on spells than I might want to otherwise. But I'm going to respect the Wilderness Reclamation and put Dramoka's command in the deck because that can destroy an enchantment. This hand is solid. It's a keeper. So I have to make sure I sequence my lands correctly. I really do think they would have fired off that Fatal Push on the extra Birds of Paradise in game 1, and then Anafenza would have gone unchecked and won the game. And I messed it all up. But live and learn. So basic planes, does that take me off anything? I don't think so. Yeah, I'll lead on the planes. As Voice of Resurgence and Tide Hollow Sculler are both white cards, so that doesn't take me off any turn 2 play I'd want to make. We've seen Mana Leak out of them. So I think leading on Sculler. So yeah, if they have a counter spell, I'd rather lead on Sculler. If they have a removal spell, I'd rather lead on Voice. So I think shocking in like this makes it more likely they have a counter spell. And if they have both, I'd at least like to see their hand. Please kill it in response. All right. Turns out they do know how this works. I'm going to take the Abrupt Decay, because if they want to answer this, I want them to use their more efficient answer while they have 2 mana up. Yeah, so I'll take the Abrupt Decay. If they want a Fatal Push, that'll use the more efficient card available to them. Aether Gust is a nice one, though. This is a super reactive hand without another land in it, though. So this is not really where they want to be. Alright, so Fatal Push is gone, Abrupt Decay in hand. Please don't draw a land. Pass a turn. Damn it. So now they just get to shove Uro. It's a little late for Anafenza. But this means I get to resolve Voice of Resurgence. Alright, Pillar of the Paruns. I need to use the Ziggurat for Noble Hierarch. And then the Pillar can cast Voice. Yeah, that sucks that they not only drew a land, but Uro found another one. They went straight from need to draw a land to completely operational immediately. Harsh. I think they saw the Forest game 1, so they're not going to think Field of Ruin is GG. So do they plus? They don't have a lot of great uses for Jace here. Like if it bounces Voice, I can just replay it. Yeah, I have Bloodbraid Elf also. Okay, that worked out pretty well. I don't think they have a 1 mana card that can mess up this Bloodbraid Elf. So red, they see the red mana, they're already sad. Red, green. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Meddling Mage, naming Aether Gust. Don't mind if I do. Or no, I'm going to name Uro. Oh wait, I'm going to name Abrupt Decay, duh. There's so many good cards to name. Alright, name Abrupt Decay. Then Meddling Mage. Then we kill Jace. Attack Jace the Mind Sculptor. Sneaky, sneaky. Get it through. Birds of Paradise. Might as well get this in. We know there are 2 cards in hand. They can 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, drawing fetch land was insane. Now they can Uro. Could they have Uro'd anyway with Field of Ruin? No, they would have had to wait a turn. Right, yeah, they can get Uro into play. Now it's time to find out if Uro is even remotely beatable. Maybe I should have put Meddling Mage on Uro, and then they can just Abrupt Decay, but at least they have to do it and it buys me a turn. What can I even do about Uro in play? I boarded out all of my Reflector Mages, didn't I? Alright, that was a punt. I guess I just have to challenge it in combat. Just put enough meat in front of it that it answers. Alright, so I'm going to lead on Voice of Resurgence and then follow with Anafenza. Yeah, this sucks. I should definitely have Reflector Mages still in my deck, specifically for Uro. Or I guess Anafenza challenges it. I don't know. This is tough. Their deck just presents a variety of threats, is all I'm saying here. Alright, white, green. That's white again. White, green. Voice of Resurgence. So if they want to Aether Gust something, they need to do it in response to this, or just go to their own turn to do it. Top or bottom? I'll put it on top. That's pretty nice. Insurance policy. So I could Siege Rhino and offer the trade with Bloodbraid Elf. Or I could get Anafenza in play. Yeah, I think I want Anafenza in play. Black, green, white. Yeah, so this way if Uro dies somehow, it stays gone. If they draw another one and try to put it into play, it'll go away. So this sets up for next turn. They still can't Abrupt Decay. I'm pretty sure that if I double block here, Anafenza will see Uro go into the graveyard. Alright, so they just put Aether Gust back on top of the deck. Wonder if they can draw a card. Or, I guess they're targeting it. We don't know if they did it yet. So, Abrupt Decay and 1 mystery card in hand. If I go for the double block and the 1 mystery card is a removal spell, I'm just completely fucked. But if it's not, I'm going to wish I did that. They did not put Aether Gust on top of their deck. See, can I race Uro going long? Alright, I'm going to take the double block and hope that I understand how the rules work. I don't think it's getting any better. I can't let them draw 2 cards a turn forever. Please don't tap mana right now. Alright, got him. And Uro is in exile. Cool. So they have an Abrupt Decay they can't cast, and 1 mystery card that they chose not to cast when they could have cast cards. Alright, so I'm going to lead on the Voice. That's my defense grid. Then I'm going to go to combat, attack for 3. I'm doing this because if they have Cryptic Command, I guess they might have countered the Voice. Alright, but this is a great time for a Siege Rhino. White, black. green. Bah, bah. There's probably an argument just to stick Anafenza anyway, but in case they top deck Uro, just get it out of there. But I'm excited about Siege Rhino. Ooh, they're paying mana. So instead of a 4/5, I get a 5/5 deal. So an uncastable Abrupt Decay in hand. All right, I'm now seeing, like, as this game played out, just having the material to block Uro and just kill it in combat didn't feel so bad after all. All right, now they're hellbent. And I can stick my Anafenza. Black, green, white. So Uro's not a top deck anymore. I'm not going to commit this Noble Hierarch, because starting next turn I'm going to be attacking with 2 creatures every turn. At least I can get Giganthe here. Nice. All right, cool. So I have a second wave in the tank here, and I'm pretty far ahead on board. And their primary win con is off until they answer Anafenza. And if they do have cryptic commands to tap my team, voice is going to trigger every time. I'm going to start putting counters on my Birds of Paradise. I want to diversify these threats. I'm not going to play Gigantha. I don't need it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I actually did just fail to put lethal in play. But I still think that... Oh yeah, if they answer Voice of Resurgence, I get a larger creature. Alright. This is the interaction we came for. Uro's gone. Oh, if they had stacked that the other way, they could have seen if they were going to draw a removal spell before they put their Uro into exile. Yep. And Anafenza, what the fuck? Yeah, we got the double TF in the chat. She lines up pretty well against this format, it turns out. All right, keep piling up this bird. Yeah, Anafenza is not just a 3-mana 4/4. The other words on her actually matter. So she's done 3 additional damage on top of her own 4/4 stats with the counter she's passed out, and she's exiled 2 Uros. GG's. That was exciting. Anafenza, FT dubs. Alright, I'm on the play. I've kept this hand. My opponent mulled to 5. We'll find out pretty soon if they are unlucky or if they're playing one of the degenerate combo decks like Tybalt's Trickery. This hand has all the colors of mana. It's got a mana dork. Voice of Resurgence is one of the stronger proactive plays, so I'm pretty happy with this hand. Just depends on if my opponent is going to combo me out and murder me somehow or not. Alright, let's hope they don't play Spell Snare, because this is pretty good against basic island otherwise. Cool. I think playing Birds of Paradise is better than attacking for 1 here. Just get all set up. Untapping into 5 mana on turn 3, not bad. Baral, oh no. They're definitely a combo deck, but luckily for me, I have this going on. I am going to tap the creatures instead of the lands. I don't know, because they're more fragile. Alright, you get out of here. Attack for 3. Alright, so there's some sort of combo deck. Let's hope buying 2 turns off of Baral is enough. Oh, City of Brass. Is Lotus Field a deck in Modern? Oh, Goblin Electromancer. They have 2 of this card. Uh-oh. The wheels are starting to come off. I kept a pretty mana solid hand with the plan to draw spells, and I have not drawn spells. Gigantha in hand. And I will pretend that I have instants by representing the most questions as possible. So Baral plus Electromancer, their spells all cost 2 less. Time to see how I'm going to die. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to survive this turn. Yeah, oh, Channel of Suns. An actual factual ritual. That's fun. Haven't seen this one since Extended. Yeah, I just want to see what their actual win condition and engine are, so I know how to sideboard correctly. Gifts Ungiven. Okay, so Gifts Ungiven means I want Aven Mind Sensor, which I wouldn't have necessarily known I wanted if they didn't do that. I'm going to want my Mind Break Traps, obviously. I have 4 of those, 2 Aethersworn Cananas. Like, my sideboard is pretty stacked for this sort of matchup. So you can have, or I put the cards in the graveyard. Manamorphose and Desperate Ritual and Channel go in the graveyard. So I can F6 at this point. I would have countered it if I had the ability. Yeah, this looks like they're just like the normal Storm engine with more colors involved. Oh, Bring to Light. That's what they're doing differently. Bring to Light for Past in Flames, sure. Then they can Bring to Light. Yeah, I'm just gonna let them play this out. Maximize information. Bring to Light's really interesting. That's another Bring to Light plus gifts. Those are both things that Aven Mind Sensor is good against. The funny thing about gifts is that Aven Mind Sensor, you look at your top 4 cards, they could probably still make a 4-card gifts pile. I want to see if they can't quite get up to Grape Shot yet with what I can see. Or 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, oh yeah, they're actually fine. But if they show me anything else, it'll be worth having waited. This is cool though. I have not seen a 5-color Bring to Light Storm deck before. I wonder if there's a new Kaldheim card that makes this something that they wanted to do. Alright, so now they can gifts and just put Grape Shot somewhere in the pile and flashback ritual. Oh, Grape Shot was in hand already? Okay, that's fine. Deal. Time to bring in the sideboard cards. Oh, they show. Ooh, that was a mistake. So Magic Online does this miserable thing where begin sideboarding and reveal hand are like buttons you can click by accident. Like reveal hand is right where OK is. So they just showed me Madcap Experiment completely by accident, but now I know they're a Madcap deck as well. A card until you reveal an artifact. And all right, so they have Platinum Empyrean in this deck as well. I would not have sideboarded for that if they hadn't made that click. Thanks, Magic Online. All right. Aven Mind Sensors, in, Canonist, Mindbreak Trap, and Tide Hollow Sculler all coming in. So 9 cards coming in. What's coming out? Dromoka's Command does not seem important here. Unfortunately, Grape Shot makes copies. Like, if I could prevent all damage Grape Shot deals, that would be nice, but that is not how that card works. Reflector Mage, Knight of Autumn. Knight of Autumn does not do things I need it to do. They might have some sideboard card I care about. Anafenza also only affects creatures that go to the graveyard. And Siege Rhino is kind of dopey here. So I guess now, do I want Abrupt Decays in the deck to answer Barals, or do I just want this creature-centric plan? Like, Bloodbraiding into an Abrupt Decay when they don't have Brawl is going to be really embarrassing when most of the other hits are good. Though I do think that Abrupt Decay is probably better than Reflector Mage in this matchup, on average, even if it does make for worse cascades. And now I'm not a Gigantha deck anymore, so if they are really heads up, they'll know that if I don't reveal Gigantha, it's because I brought in Mindbreak Trap. Like, that's the only single color card that makes sense here. Alright, let's hope that the sideboard works. Yeah, not a bad start. I'll keep this. It's got a Sculler and a Trap. Lead on Pillar. Black mana. I wonder if they play discard or if that's just like for the Bring to Light. Right, so I'm going to need to draw a land next turn. This is not quite where I want it to be yet. Also, we're at the awkward spot where Pillar of the Parents doesn't cast Mind Sensor, so I'm 2 lands away from that card. Pyroclasm, Past in Flames, Madcap Experiment, Electromancer. So do I have a plan for Madcap Experiment? I guess I have to take the Pyroclasm though, or else I just lose to it. Alright. Guess I can probably beat a Platinum Empyrean in combat, if I had to. That card was not in their hand when I saw it a second ago. Yeah, I definitely need a land right now, because they can experiment next turn if I don't do something about it. Alright, so I should have been more specific. That particular land's not going to help, but I can at least get damage on the board, so... Yeah, so they're going to Empyrean. I'm going to offer the trade with Electromancer because that will... It unlocks their Pyroclasm, but it slows down the experiment for a turn. Alright, we're in the danger zone for sure. Let's hope they sideboard it in. Engineered Explosives by accident. Nope. Alright. Let's take a look at this deck. Grapeshot, Ignite Memories, Chromanticore, my goodness. Gifts Ungiven, okay, yeah, pretty normal looking stuff over there. So now I have to make sense of how many of these cards I've actually seen. So they have 2 City of Brass and Past in Flames in their hand. Alright, yeah, just gotta make sense of all that before I do anything else. Alright, Pillar of the Parents, cool. So white, green, I can play these, and I can kill Electromancer. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Alright, can't quite beat Platinum Empyrean yet. These City of Brasses are looking really good with Empyrean in play, though. That's cool tech. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yep, here it comes. So if I block, I get a 4/4. Am I ready to commit to that? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, upgrade this. I guess it's a 3/3 for now. I'm just assuming I'll draw a land or creature, because that is most of what's in my deck. Alright, so that upgrades it to a point where I can trade with it. Alright, I did draw a land or creature, confirmed. Alright, black, white. Oh man, what do you have, Cryptic Command in your deck? What's happening right now? Oh, Gifts Ungiven in response? That sucks. Alright. They're just gonna pivot onto Storm, or search for some, like, 3 Pyroclasm effects. I've already taken one. Let's see what they got. And I get to take one of the cards they keep with the Sculler, so that's kind of awkward, but I guess it still works. Maybe I can lull them into a false sense of security around Mindbreak Trap. Yeah, this juke sucks for me a lot, the Madcap Experiment, especially having it on turn 3. Yuck. Alright, so Chromanticore. My goodness, they actually chose that card. So I'm going to put Chromanticore and Bring to Light in the graveyard. Yeah, Chromanticore and Bring to Light go to the graveyard. Then I take Fire Spout with my Sculler. Alright, so you have 2 Past in Flames and a Desperate Ritual in hand. Past in Flames, Desperate Ritual, City of Brass. Okay. Alright, so it's going to be time to challenge this Platinum Empyrean in combat, get that out of the way, and then hope Mindbreak Trap is enough afterwards, in the aftermath. What an insane card to have, Chromanticore. Though I guess it was kind of sweet there. Alright, that's one spell. I mean, that was their draw for the turn, so they're just cantripping to see if they can get somewhere. I don't think that they can right now. Alright, we're on the no attacks phase. Alright. Did I leave in a single Reflector Mage? Or any way to deal with this card? Alright, there is exactly one Reflector Mage in my deck still. My Knight of Autumns are gone. So I'm drawing to one Reflector Mage unless they fuck up here. Now I have double Mindbreak Trap, so that's some nice insurance. Alright, Pyretic Ritual. Alright, so we know their whole hand is Desperate Ritual, Past in Flames right now. Alright, so if they Past in Flames, I think I just hit this. So their hand is just Past in Flames right now. So if they do it this turn, then they don't have mana to go anywhere with it. Drawing the land for Mind Sensor would be a big deal here because the Past in Flames getting Gifts Ungiven is the path through this game. Alright, here we go. Alright, we've got them Hellbent and top decking, but neither of us can actually win the game. Come on, Reflector Mage. I literally saw the Madcap Experiment in game 1 and still boarded out all my artifact removal. So I think I do want to play this because it is an honest mana source. Like, yeah, it casts the Mind Sensor if I need it to. Like, we've seen Fire Spout and Pyroclasm already. If they can break this house of cards, I'm in trouble. Race. Oh god, they topped. That sucks. I hope they're setting up a Storm Kill and they didn't find a removal spell. Okay, so I can at least cast Mind Sensor at this point. Gives me some play against the Gifts Ungiven. Alright. Still not making a move. I don't want them to see the Mind Sensor. Ooh. Alright. I'm not going to tap out Bloodbraid Elf, just in case they do have... they are able to gifts this turn, so I am going to end-step the Mind Sensor this time. Creature, other mana. Just another hateful permanent in play. Abrupt Decay, not what I'm looking for, but at least it's not... This Bloodbraid Elf is guaranteed to get me closer to the Reflector Mage, even if it doesn't find it itself. Come on, Reflector Mage. Right, Voice of Resurgence. They are so dead if I can ever remove this thing. I could have tapped where I have Abrupt Decay up still, so I mess this up if I lose to some like Baral nonsense this turn. It's totally my fault. They topped that Serum Visions again. Well, there's that. I hope I don't lose to it. That is their second spell, though. Another Bloodbraid Elf. Alright, let's make that same play again, but this time tap my mana correctly. Red, green, something else. Come on, Reflector Mage. Meddling Mage. Alright, I'm gonna name... Do I care about Past in Flames? Maybe I name Lightning Bolt? Yeah, I don't think I care about Past in Flames. Like, Lightning Bolt is another card they could have that breaks down my house of cards. Like, if they just bolt one of these things, unleash the Fire Spout, GG. That's not a game I'm interested in playing, so... Black, green. Abrupt Decay is literally in the deck for Goblin, Electromancer, and Brawl, so I'm going to cast it while I have it. Your life total can't change. What a powerful effect that is. So I didn't go through very many cards on either of those cascades. Yeah, there is one still in here. No way to search my deck, only push forward. Yeah, I'm not going to commit another creature to the board. There's enough of those already. Oh god. Gifts ungiven. Okay, so they can only search their top 4 with even Mind Sensor. I have enough creatures in play now that... Okay, so I want Empty the Warrens and Channel the Suns in the graveyard. And they get to put Breeding Pool in their hand. That wasn't the worst gifts, considering how bad it could have been. Another pillar. I guess I'll play it. I am not favored in this situation. I would like to make it perfectly clear. I guess it depends on how many removal spells they play. Like, if they literally have the Pyroclasm, the Fire Spout, and a Lightning Bolt, then I'm actually incredibly favored. Okay, I guess I should tap the creature mana. White, blue. This one's going to name Past in Flames. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to name Anger the Gods. Like, I guess I don't know how many, without knowing how many different sweepers they play. So I just have to hope they don't play any counter spells, though. Because if they counter my Reflector Mage, I can't win. But they have fewer cards in their deck left than I do. Maybe that is actually the plan. Alright, that's not it. Click, 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 click. Ritual. Ritual. That's 2. The next one's 3. Alright, so they can't pass in Flames. Let's see what they do have. They have 2 fetch lands that are locked under Mind Sensor. Bring to light. So search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery card. Exile that card. You may cast that card. Okay, so... Oh, shit. Was I supposed to... Oh, if they get, like... Yeah, I don't care if they get Empty the Warrens. Never mind. Alright, yeah. So, yeah, they're just digging here. Oh, I guess they could cast Grapeshot from hand and nuke my creatures, but I'm going to have to Mindbreak Trap the Grapeshots. Okay. Yeah, this is actually kind of scary. This second Meddling Mage probably should have named Grapeshot, not Pass in Flames. But they'll need 2 Grapeshots to break through this. But Grapeshot is a very... Oh, shit. Can't beat that card. Alright, well... I hope that was the last thing they had. If they have the Grapeshot, I lose. Oh wow, they conceded to that? Is Grapeshot not still in their deck? Okay. I guess they didn't know how not actually close to winning I was. Knight of Autumn or Reflector Mage. Reflector Mage has more text because it can also hit the Barals, etc. Knight of Autumn. Yeah, for life. I don't know. Maybe I should diversify them. I don't know. Does it matter? It's unclear. Maybe I should just have all of them and get off these Mantis Riders a little. Okay, I'm gonna have to... Oh, Dromoka's Command's actually good here too, because Pyroclasm and Fire Spout are some of their blowout cards. Oh, this is getting tough. My deck's getting weird. Alright, I think I'm actually off the Abrupt Decays. I want to fight the combo in other directions, and you can only play so many spells in the deck for reasons I have explained already. Maybe... No, I'll just keep some Knights. Having 3 outs to the Empyrean compared to 1 seems like enough, probably. Yeah, I think... And Dromoka's Command can also fight a Baral, so I think that's a good place to be. Yeah, 3 outs to Empyrean. I'm still able to pressure. All of my hate cards are in. I guess Boros Charm making my stuff indestructible is kind of like the Dromoka's Command prevent all damage mode. But this is just better overall. Like, they have a similar mode. And Dromoka's Command's easier to cast because those are the basic lands that I have. So, yeah, alright. This deck seems presentable. This hand, not so good. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan this. This matchup's kind of dicey, and this hand is medium. Opponent's on 6. I'm also on 6. This is a keeper, though. I need a mana source that makes other colors, but this is a keep. And the choice to bottom is between Bloodbraid Elf and Tide Hollow Sculler. So I think or I can lead on Bird of Paradise and have turn 2 Sculler. So yeah, I think I'm going to send the Bloodbraid Elf. It was actually a pretty easy choice. Once I realized Birds of Paradise was not Noble Hierarch. Alright, Bird. Bird. Bird is in play. Please don't bolt. Bolt my bird. Alright, they didn't bolt my bird. I don't think this deck can turn to me. I hope not. And if they spend like a Pyroclasm here just on bird, that seems pretty medium. Alright, BoshNRoll is in play now. So I can play Tide Hollow Sculler and still hold up Mindbreak Trap. I think that's probably my best way to do all this, do everything I want to do. So let's clear the Madcap Experiment and then, oh wow. Their hand is not very good right now. So, and having a 2-power creature in play means that I can fight and kill BoshNRoll next turn. Oh, lucky. That was a good draw. Let's see what they do with it, though. Now, I guess the question is, do I fight BoshNRoll immediately? Or do I... Alright, they topped, played the Breeding Pool. So am I fighting BoshNRoll or holding up Mind Sensor? Oh, now that I can double spell, it's an easy choice. So white, green, play Voice. And then white, green. I'm going to Dromoka's Command. I'm going to put everything on the Voice because if they did find a Lightning Bolt, like making the Sculler the target would just get super blown out. Like I would make them choose between saving their BoshNRoll with Lightning Bolt or getting their gifts back. I am pretty in on this bird, though. I guess Aven Mind Sensor I'm well equipped to cast, but bird is my only source of mana that isn't green and white right now. This is kind of a tenuous position. 1, 2, all right, Mindbreak Trap's on. I feel like they have a plan because they would have just Manamorphosed first if they were just trying to draw cards. All right, 2 cards left over there. Mindbreak Trap is on. Lightning Bolt. Okay. Do I want to fight over that? Or give them the gifts and then exile gifts? Yeah, I'll let them have their bolt. Because with this mana they still have floating. Like if I Mindbreak Trap the bolt and then they just play gifts from hand, that sucks. And that 2 power, I mean, it does matter, but it also doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter as much as losing the game. Oh, did I know City of Brass is the last card in their hand? I think I just blew that. Whoops. All right. Red. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Bloodbraid Elf is better than Mind Sensor here. Yeah, I should have exiled the Lightning Bolt. Is that even true though? Like if they top deck Pyroclasm or Fire Spout, I don't lose to the gifts that was under the Sculler. Oh, and are they going to be able to bring to light right now? Getting Chromanticore? Oh, did I fuck up? I might have fucked up. Oh, empty. Okay. Just make 4 goblins? I'm insulted. That's what you've got for me. Okay, yeah. I think I did accidentally make the right play around the Lightning Bolt. I won't pretend that I did that on purpose, but I will say that it worked out to be correct, I think. All right. That's fine. Trading off with Bloodbraid is fine because I plan on using my Exalted attacks with Aven Mind Sensor to do most of the damage for the rest of this game. So yeah, I guess I want to commit the Mind Sensor. They do have this fetch land that I can at least make them crack. All right, I mean, there's some scary stuff. I do need them to brick or to some good top decks. Yeah, and it's still worth more damage to attack with both of these creatures than just the Mind Sensor. All right, Mana Confluence turns on all of my Reflecting Pool. So I can hardcast Mindbreak Trap now, which doesn't matter if I don't actually have it, but it is something that they should have to think about. Though if they top deck Past in Flames, I might just lose. Oh no. This is certainly 4 mana. I hope it's Gifts and not Past in Flames. Also, Bring to Light is mostly fine. Ugh! Does this actually beat me? It certainly does a lot of work. I don't think I'm just dead here. So they Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose. They see 2 new cards. They can Serum Visions for another one after that. This graveyard is not as lethal as it could be. And if they Serum Visions, then they can't Lightning Bolt Mind Sensor. Like, I think yeah, I mean, they are going to have to string some stuff together, but that was absolutely the best top deck in their whole deck. They floated green. That's weird. What are they setting up for that wants green mana? Oh, is it a Fire Spout? And Fire Spout is actually not the worst because I do end up with a 1/1 in play that can continue attacking. Their diminished life total over there. Okay. They're gonna Serum Visions now? Okay. That could have been a lot worse. I think they're done. I don't know what else they could do from this spot with green floating. If they had red floating, I might be scared. Alright, so I can attack and put them to 1 with this Voice of Resurgence plus Exalted. They top-bottomed with Serum Visions. So Bloodbraid Elf is lethal, Noble Hierarch's lethal. A Storm Hate card, Mindbreak Trap, Aethersworn Canonist, any of those things would be great. Let's see where this goes. Alright, that's probably pretty good. Alright, blue, white. I'm gonna name Gifts, or not Gifts, Past in Flames. The card that is in their graveyard where I can see it. I mean, this is dangerous. They can't tap their City of Brass. They can't fetch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana that they have in play, plus any rituals is what they have to win with. They are at 1, so a Fire Spout doesn't do it because I have the Voice, which leaves a 1/1 behind, which I can make a 2/2 by playing my creature on my turn. This has gotten exciting. Oh, maybe I'm supposed to name Bring to Light? I don't know. Oh, wow. Green, blue, black. Right, they can Bring to Light for 4, which is plenty. Shit. Yeah, I think I blew it. So they can Bring to Light for the Madcap Experiment and get the Empyrean in play, and then we're back into that game we were playing last turn. Oh, do they have Chromanticore? Is that the plan? Oh, they're building Storm? Or is there a 5-color spell? Now they get Chromanticore with this? That sounds like a reasonable plan. Okay, so Vigilance, Lifelink, Trample. So all the same answers. This is an enchantment creature, so Reflector Mage and Dryad Knight, whatever it's called. Oh, you sack an enchantment? Don't mind if I do. Dromoka's Command. Target player sacrifices an enchantment. Put a +1 counter on a target creature. Alright, you sack an enchantment, and you enjoy a little +1 counter. Alright, so Dromoka's Command ended up being way better than Abrupt Decay. Alright, looks like we did it, unless they can put a creature into play or they play Force of Negation. I got a nice in the chat. I hope it's a genuine nice and not a sarcastic nice. But either way, yeah, that was really nice based on my own reaction. Dromoka. Commands that we beat Storm. On to the finals. Alright, it's the final round. I've kept this hand. My opponent went to 6. This hand is nice. All set up. I even get to pretend I'm humans for a turn. Ancient Ziggurat Noble Hierarch is humans opening all day. Then I get to pivot, do something different. Did not crack their fetch, interesting. That probably means they're trying to hit land drops. Do I commit the Anafenza or the Voice? I think I want a Voice. Voice will pave the way for the most interplay on subsequent turns. Unless they are just the... I'm always worried that they're just Tybalt's Trickery combo. And we'll see. Ketria Triome. Certainly looks like some sort of Uro deck from here. I've been impressed so far with how much fun this 5-color creature deck is, and how the staying power that it has. If they play Uro, I'm going to wish I played Anafenza. Oh, no, they are Tybalt's Trickery. Great. And there's Emrakul. Okay, so there it is. Talked about it all day, and surprise, GG. Okay, so this is the combo sideboard that I packed for today. It already paid off against Storm, and let's hope it pays off again here. Alright, so Anafenza probably doesn't matter. Meddling Mage, very important. Dromoka's Command probably doesn't matter. Reflector Mage could matter. No, they hardcast the Emrakul. Like and I don't have Aether Vial, so there's not really a place where I can put Emrakul back in their hand. So Anafenza hits harder, I guess, which is a reason over Reflector Mage. If they have some sort of sideboard juke, they're gonna kill me. Like I'm just committed to beating this combo at this point. So that's the only plan that I have. And we'll see what they're doing. In the list that I recorded with Tybalt's Trickery, sideboards into Amulet, just like brings in the mana base is already there, and then you bring in Dryad Arbor or Dryad of the Elysian Grove and Primeval Titan and all that stuff, and you're just that deck instead. So time to find out if we got or not. But even Mind Sensor is my sideboard plan against that deck too. So let's find out, I guess. I am of course gonna go first. I'm gonna keep. This has some of the cards that I wanted. Let's see if it's good enough. It is pretty funny that I have Siege Rhino in my deck against a turn 2 combo potential. But what are you gonna do? Alright, drew a land. Not totally embarrassed. I'm just gonna pass. Leave up the Mind Sensor. Please fetch, please fetch, please fetch. They should definitely not fetch here. Coward. Alright. Can't play around it forever. I gotta put damage on the board. So they fetch here. Get some land. I think I'm gonna play Anafenza this turn. Even if I draw a land for Siege Rhino, I'm pretty sure I still want to play Anafenza, because she does damage more quickly than Siege Rhino does. Voice, yeah, that's definitely not the plan. So white, green, black. I mean, let's just hope that this Mindbreak Trap does enough. Do you have it? You wouldn't have kept your hand if you didn't have it. So let's see what happens. Let's see if maybe they have mono fetch lands. That would be great. Blast Zone's pretty solid. Dryad. Okay, so they are on the Valakut pivot. Yikes. That's pretty bad news for me. Alright, well, at least I am providing meaningful pressure here. Meaningful, of course, being completely subjective, because next turn they can go land drop, I'm dead. Like they play 2 lands, the second land drop shocks the Mind Sensor, then they can crack their fetch lands with freedom. So this, all I can do is present as much damage as I can. Try to go wide around this Valakut. Maybe they don't have 2 lands in their hand, in their deck that plays 51 lands. Siege Rhino does take a lot of A lot of Valakut triggers to kill, though. I'm sure that won't matter. Oh god, they even have the Cavern of Souls. I guess that doesn't matter, like I don't have counter spells, but yeah, just completely crushed by this sideboard pivot. I think this is a really well designed deck. I did what I could. Like, they don't even need to have Primeval Titan here. They literally just Valakut trigger, destroy even Mind Sensor, fetch, kill the rest of my creatures. And then if they also have a spell, then see you later. Like, if they actually do have Primeval Titan to follow up here, then whatever, GG. I'm thinking about where maybe I could have done better this game, and I think it's possible that I'm just supposed to jam Anafenza on turn 3 instead of holding up the bird, because they clearly could see that I have the bird, and then there's like maybe some chance they save their fetch land for later. I don't know. Like, obviously hindsight's 20/20, but they were smart enough not to just shove their fetch land into 3 open mana, which I needed them to not be that smart. All right, they're going face here. Do they have Scape Shift? They've only cast 1 spell this turn. Or 0, actually. 0 spells. Oh, cool. So this, yeah, I'm just dead. Okay. Got crushed by the pivot, like I said we would. I had a card that was good against both, but they had the Valakut into Dryad naturally. They didn't have to do any searching for it. All right, so this deck was pretty fun. It hung it out with the format in a way that I guess I shouldn't be surprised by, because 5-color humans is a totally real deck in the format. And this is kind of just a less efficient twist on that. It's more of a good cards than a synergistic sort of thing. But yeah, this deck was sweet. Tybalt's Trickery being in the format is going to be a real problem for any deck that wants to play fair. We'll see how those decks look. It felt kind of bannable in the league I played with it, but it is early to tell if that's actually true or not. But let's see where the format goes. This deck, though, was a lot of fun. Did a lot more than I expected. We did run into some awkward Ancient Ziggurat, Pillar of the Paruns, can't cast our spells situations, but in general, had staying power, did what it needed to do. I think every single one of the bullets in this deck, or at least there's no bullets, they're all more than one-ofs, but like the techie cards in the deck all showed up, did something important. So a lot of fun. So thank you for challenging me to build this deck. Everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.